Uh, so let's do this one instead. This one is also topical. I was debating on whether or not I want to see it, and you know what? I decided we should see it because when I talked about this before, I was getting information that was probably at least 5 to 7 years old. And the one that got submitted is only a month old. So this could have new information that I'm unaware of. So let us take a look at why no one wants to host the Olympics. Because there could be a whole hell of a lot more that we don't know about that is new to my ears. So let's take a
Down the back stretch.
It's September 2017, and members of the International Olympic Committee are gathered to pick the city that will host the 2024 Olympic Games. The biggest decision this group makes. They've put representatives from the two competing cities on stage for their announcement.
With the unanimous decision we took,
But everyone here already knows who won.
please raise your hand.
Every 4 years, more than 5 million people attend the Olympics, and over 3 billion watch it on TV. It's a once
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
than 5 million people attend the Olympics, and over 3 billion watch it on TV.
I'm sorry, I'm calling bullshit on that. I am calling bullshit on those numbers. 5 million people attending, 3 billion watching? I'm calling bullshit. Maybe 20 years ago that was true. It ain't true today. It is not. Patra, I'm considering it as being worldwide. I'm considering it as worldwide. I find that number difficult to believe. No, Ace, the games will be in LA in 2028. The games are due to be held in LA in 2028, I believe. I find it hard to believe that in the last several years, the Olympics, that many people are watching the Olympics on TV. I find that very difficult to believe. Watching clips on YouTube of their individual sport that they're interested in, maybe. But watching the Olympics, like full on watching the Olympics on TV. Now, although, hang on. Yeah, but Patra, that's in the millions, and we're talking billion with a B. Even the population of China wouldn't shore up the numbers for that. But there is one thing I forgot to take into account. I did forget to take into account, and towards you're on the right track then, is you have empty break rooms in offices where they might have it just running on the TV, and sports bars / restaurants. How many televisions in sports bars and sports restaurants are playing the Olympics 24/7 while it's ongoing? That's something I didn't factor into. And Times Square has it on the Jumbotron? Well, I mean, that counts as one. That counts as one. I'm just thinking, like, so if you factor in those parts of the equation, okay, maybe I can kind of see that number. But actual human eyeballs watching the Olympics on TV, I don't think it's 3 billion. I think that's a romanticized number. It's honestly, that's a romanticized number, I think.
It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for one city to show off, and the competition has typically been fierce. 12 cities
Airports
applied
too,
to host
yeah.
the 2004 games
Yeah.
before the IOC.
That would, yeah. All of these locations where they just have the stuff showing. Good night, Ishua. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, all of these locations that will just have it playing, but no one's actually watching, they'll count those as people watching. So, yeah, it's the numbers are definitely artificially inflated. Absolutely, I have no doubt. The number of human eyeballs watching the Olympics at home is not 3 billion. I guarantee that.
Picked Athens, Greece. 10 applied for 2008, won by Beijing, China. But since then, interest has been waning. 9 cities applied for 2012, then 7, then 5, and for 2024, only 2 were left when it was time for a vote. So the IOC
Wow.
did something it's never done before.
Paris 24, Los Angeles 28.
Wow.
The IOC was so concerned that nobody would bid to host the games in 2028 that it simultaneously awarded the games 2024 to Paris and 2028 to Los Angeles. There used to be strong demand to host. Now there isn't.
The Olympics are the most...
And I have to wonder, as the Olympics gets closer in Los Angeles, is there going to start becoming, are we going to start seeing protests are happening demanding that the Olympics not come to LA? I have to wonder because no one wants to host the Olympics anymore. And Shadow Sparta, like I said, I saw a thing on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver like 6-7 years ago about this. And I suspect many of the reasons are going to be the same, but there could be some new information that I'm unaware of, so I'm going to let it play through and comment as it comes.
Prestigious sports event in the world. Why doesn't anyone want to host it anymore?
Yeah.
So the Olympics have actually had this problem before.
Wait. Okay, Genesis, I need an explanation. Guy obsessed with chocolate muffins? That requires an explanation. Because I didn't watch the Olympics at all. What the hell happened with the 2024 Olympics about the guy obsessed with chocolate muffins? This is lore I need an explanation on, please. Because this is lore, this is Olympic lore I care about. Sport, go for it. I'll use something funny. It's probably if you physically watch the Olympics was 9.7. Thank you, Aki. I knew those numbers were inflated like to a umpteenth degree. Leading up to politicians suddenly care about the home and yeah, exactly. Oh, right yet? No kidding. No fucking kidding. You're gonna see the politicians of California and LA going fucking crazy trying to clean it up. But you know what's gonna happen? All they're gonna do is they're gonna shove the homeless out of the area. That's all they'll care about. They'll shove the homeless out of the area and send them to another area of LA. That's it. And probably Falcon,
They
probably.
originally came up with this idea of rotating the games around to different cities back in 1896 because they had to.
We didn't have international jet travel and we didn't have international telecommunications.
Andrew Zimbalist wrote a book about the economics of hosting sports mega events like the Olympics.
So it was necessary in order to spread the games internationally and get the whole world to participate and enjoy them.
As the games grew, the IOC kept this tradition, eventually developing a competition where cities would submit bids and it would vote on a winner. But when it opened bidding for the 1984 games, not a single city wanted to host because the last few hadn't gone very well. Local political protests had turned violent during the 1968 games in Mexico City, and terrorists killed 11 Israeli athletes at the 72 Munich games.
Invade the Olympic Village, taking 9
ow.
Israeli athletes hostage and killing 2 others in their room.
Both incidents showed cities that hosting could be politically risky, or even deadly, when construction problems and corruption led Montreal to spend more than...
Well, and here's a question. Again, as someone who didn't watch the Olympics, were there any issues regarding which two countries, given the current situation this year? Were there problems with the Olympics, with protests happening with either of those two Middle Eastern countries? Oh shit, it's still not working. Sorry, Spartan. You know what? I'm gonna kill the TTS. I'm gonna turn off the TTS for now because for whatever reason, the fucking thing's not working. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, the TTS just isn't working. I don't know what's wrong with it. It broke. Found it. ISS passing one. So, Kaibo, there was a problem between the athletes. Well, Marshmallow, we're getting some history, but it's why no one wants to host the Olympic Games anymore. Okay. Alright, I was just curious, because I hadn't heard anything about any major protests or issue between those two countries. I was curious if there was.
13 times their budget.
Genesis? Why don't you share it in... Go ahead and share it in Stream Chat General mods. Let Genesis post it. It's fine, because I'm curious about this. And I'll probably read through it after we finish the video.
They began to view it as financially risky too. So in the late 70s, the IOC was barreling towards disaster until one city offered to save them. Under one condition: Los Angeles did not want to spend a lot of money.
Okay.
To do that, it offered to use venues it already had instead of build new ones. The LA Coliseum, where
Genesis, my Discord is in the Twitch channel information. There's a link for my Discord there.
The USC football team played, the Forum,
Hi,
where the Lakers played, UCLA's gymnasium and tennis center, and the athletes could just stay in the college dorm rooms. Since the IOC didn't have a choice, it said yes, and was soon glad it did. The '84 LA Games were a success in almost every way, but especially financially. It only cost around $1 billion in 2015 dollars, and LA even made a profit. This should have become the model for future Olympic host cities, but instead, it sparked the problem that is plaguing the Olympics today.
It's interesting how many of these sports and politics stories really boil down to economics. If you recall, the Premier League story is a story about a warped economic system. The NFL is so successful because it created a new economic model for sports leagues. If you haven't seen those,
France gave the Israeli Olympic team extra 24/7 protection while they were in the country because of credible threats made against the team and the games in general. Really? Not surprising though, honestly. It's not surprising. To Marquise, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
those videos yet, give them a watch. If you haven't subscribed to Search Party, now's your chance. We publish every 2 weeks this summer, so I've been working from all over the place. I've been writing scripts on trains, I've been animating on airplanes. I'm headed out this afternoon on a really exciting reporting trip, but I'm gonna be in a hotel the whole time. That's why I'm really excited to work with Surfshark. Surfshark's a VPN that's gonna keep me safe on all those public Wi-Fis. Surfshark is an app and browser that encrypts my activity online while blocking ads and malware.
The games right now
me to virtually place myself anywhere in the world in order to unblock content
it's
that
been
I
made
couldn't
political.
access otherwise.
It's 100% been made political.
Search Party
and
cover stories
like when he was talking
on
about
Earth.
the
So
when
here's
he
the
was
deal.
talking about
Use
the
the
84
coupon code
games,
Search Party
it was because it was all about the athletes.
and get 4 months
And
extra.
it's no longer
There's
about
also no
the
risk.
sport.
They have a 30-day money
It's
back
about
guarantee.
the spectacle.
Again,
It's
Surfshark
about
is how I keep
you know,
myself
about
safe
the
online.
controversy.
It's the best way for you to do the same.
It's about
It's also the best way to support
everything
Search Party.
except the
So
sport.
thanks again to Surfshark for supporting
That's what
our
makes
work.
the news.
I'll take you
Everything
back to the
except the
episode.
sport.
LA did such a good job hosting the 1984 Olympics that it re-inspired cities to want to host again. For the 1992 games, 6 cities submitted bids, then 6 again for 96, 8 for 2000, then a whopping 11 for 2004. As more cities competed, the IOC regained leverage over them again. But instead of sticking to the LA model, it began demanding more. Between 1992 and 2020, the IOC added dozens of new sports to the games. This required more venues and housing for more athletes.
And here is where the problem is. Because the Olympics is going away from traditional, and they want to be more inclusive, we're seeing it really springing up in 96 and in the 2020s especially. They're trying to be more inclusive. Hence why we have fucking breakdancing this year. And we have, I'm not even sure how long that air pistol shooting has been in play. This is, I think, and the reason for this, I think, is two-pronged. Number one, they're trying to be more inclusive. They're trying to give legitimacy to more things to classify as a sport. They're trying to legitimize things that were once viewed as hobbies as sports. 80s and 90s for the air pistol rifle? Okay. I wasn't sure. I was curious about that. But, so that's point number one. Point number two is interest in the Olympics was probably flagging. Interest in the Olympics was probably flagging. So the OIC probably said, we've got to inject something.
Cheer 100, we need to bring back Olympic motorboating.
That's for you, Bobcat. But it's, I think all of these inclusions of these new quote unquote sports is because they're trying to bring in more viewership. Oh shit! Ow shit! Ow! Hi.
In the ship.
Hello, Raiders.
They're inside the ship. Yeah, me and Saki are.
Kurisaki, thank you for the raid! And welcome in, Raiders!
It went inside the
How's
ship.
it going?
Yeah,
How is your stream?
So I just fucking died, dude.
Oh.
Get us out, Triple!
How was your stream? What did you guys do today? Oh shit, I forgot to plug in my phone again. I can't believe I did this again. Hang on.
Yeah, baby!
How was your stream? Yeah, I wasn't stunned. I forgot to plug in my damn phone and I just got the low power message. What did you guys do today? What kind of fun stuff for... Yes, well, Lost Child, I'm probably going to get rid of that. I'm playing with throwing stuff at me. Yeah, I'm sorry about the rail. I've got to actually get rid of that. I have like caps lock protection because I was having an issue with caps lock. I should really get rid of that. Give me a second. I'm actually gonna get rid of that right now. Ow! Thank you, Ace. Okay, that should get rid of it. I had a I'm so sorry about that, Kurosaki. I had caps lock protection because I did have some people in chat before that were problematic with caps lock. I took it off though. I meant to do that before. I forgot. I'm sorry. So Raiders, hello. Welcome to my Scuff stream. You know, Scuff stream is every stream. Thank you, Mannix. Thank you. So hi Raiders, I'm Ember, and we talk a lot. We do a lot of video reacts here, and that's a lot of what we do because we like to learn about interesting things. We look at rage-inducing things. We look at heartfelt stuff that makes me cry. That's what we do. And if you like doing that, I'm happy to have you join in. Right now we're watching a video about why no one wants to host the Olympics anymore. And I was just postulating on this particular graph as to why there's so many new sports, because why they're adding so many new quote-unquote sports is because A, they're trying to be more inclusive, and they're trying to legitimize hobbies as sports, and also they're trying to get more viewership, because, let's face it, the viewership of the Olympics is way down, and they're trying to get more eyeballs onto the Olympics. And that is what I'm postulating, but we're going to be finding out why nobody wants to be hosting the Olympics anymore. And I have my suspicions, but we're gonna let them tell us. Underwater basket weaving. Honestly, Cryptic, that would take some skill. That probably takes skill. Not gonna lie.
which host cities were primarily responsible for paying for. As the
Lost
competition
Child? You laugh? I would not be surprised if they did it. I honestly would not be surprised. As popular as Beyblade is, they had fucking breakdancing this year, for God's sake. How far off are we from Beyblade dueling? Let's be honest. We're not that far off. I mean, they're probably... the clock is ticking on when they're gonna bring in, oh, I have lost word. Chat, help me out. Help me out for first-person shooter games. Help me out. My brain has just gone blank. Oh, ad dearth? Okay, I will keep the video paused until the ad is concluded. I will keep it paused. Yeah, like esports. Thank you, Kanito. The word completely flew out of my brain for a second there. Yeah, the clock is ticking on when esports is going to be an Olympic sport, because it's happening. It is going to happen. And honestly, Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh? Not long. That's probably not far off either. Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh is probably... I could see them bringing that in. I really could. Thank you, Seamusin. Thank you. Darth, refresh your stream so you won't see ads anymore. Refresh your stream, please. Officials denied foreign athletes from the UK, US, Canada food, and also prevented a Finnish from participating in the Olympics by keeping him in permanent isolation. Well, I mean, it was China. My expression of shock.
intensified, cities felt increasing pressure to make their bids more attractive. The most effective way to do that was to build new venues. Sydney built 15 new venues plus housing for 10,000 athletes. Athens built 22 new venues, and Beijing built 12. All of this construction made hosting the games really, really expensive. This chart shows how the cost of the games skyrocketed over the last 30 years, reaching between $10 and $25 billion.
Holy shit! Like, 92 spiked, but holy shit, look at this! Fucking 2014! Jesus! Oh my god! And then, of course, the 2020 games. Good god! This is out of fucking control! It's called Electronic Olympics. The second one will be next year. Oh god. Oh god. No, but Morris, that's not actual Olympics. That's not IOC Olympics. I'm talking about esports actually coming into IOC approved Olympics. That's coming. I know it is. But so, look at this. Starting in 2012, the costs are just ballooning out of control here. And the fallout from this spending is going to be bad. It's going to be real bad.
last decade.
I want to add one big caveat to this chart, though.
Yeah,
It
George,
only includes
exactly
sports-related costs to the
It's the
games.
same issue
It
with
doesn't
FIFA.
include things like new public transportation or development projects that most all these cities spent money on for the Olympics. If we include some of those costs, these bars are actually way higher. So, for example, some estimate that Beijing spent more like $45 billion for their 2008 Summer Games. Russia spent more like $51 in 2014, and Tokyo's
Holy
bill is
crap.
more like $35 billion. No matter what number you use, though, all of these cities went way over their initial budget, which the bidding process incentivizes them to keep artificially low.
What they have to do is make initial statements about the intentions and the plans that are very reduced. Once the politicians say, yeah, okay, we'll go along with this, then they start adding the bells and whistles. And those can be very, very substantial.
The revenue cities generate from ticket sales, TV contracts, and sponsorships only cover a fraction of these costs, meaning these governments and really their taxpayers are on the hook for the rest.
So it doesn't look like a good economic deal.
But host cities have known for decades
And-
that they'll likely lose.
Let's not forget, like, there is merchandise sales too, but the question is, how much of these merchandise sales are actually going back to the cities? Because I'm guessing not a lot. Because there is merchandise sales that they're just like any sporting event, but it's probably a fraction of that fraction we just saw that they're getting. So these cities are not making money. They're going wildly into debt to host the Olympics. There is literally no upside anymore for any city to host the Olympics. None whatsoever.
Money in the short term. Instead, many have been told that hosting the Olympics is an investment that will pay off in the future.
Lies.
Okay, so this is the IOC's webpage where they list the benefits of hosting the games. And they use this word legacy a lot. And by legacy, they mean things that will continue to benefit your city long after the Olympics are over.
Take sports facilities. Beijing justified spending around $460 million on this new 90,000-seat stadium by planning for a local pro soccer team to use it after the Olympics.
Okay.
London did the same when it built this stadium. At first,
well, okay, Moros, it may have been created by the IOC, but they don't actually compete during the Olympics, do they? Like during the actual official Olympics, they don't. It's sort of like a, I don't want to say side project, but it's sort of like a lateral shift from the actual Olympics. It's kind of its own thing. I could actually see esports being integrated into the actual Olympics, either summer or winter. Estimates that the 2028 game may very well bankrupt California badly enough they default? Really? Well, considering the state they're in, that wouldn't surprise me. Financially. Yeah, so they have their own Olympic. What I'm talking about, Morals, is esports actually being brought into the Olympics proper. That's what I think they're going to do. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. Cali's already in massive debt. And we are going to see the federal government inject a shitload of money into California to make the Olympics happen. And, you know, and it's all of the taxpayers that are going to suffer because of this. So the taxpayers are going to suffer because of the Olympics. It's not going to be any benefit. And that's why I'd say we're going to start seeing a lot of protests and a lot of riots about the Olympics coming to California. It is going to happen.
seems like a good idea. Other legacy projects are meant to benefit even more people. Russia spent $8.7 billion on a new rail and highway link into Sochi for its Winter Games. And Rio de Janeiro spent $4 billion on a new subway line connecting a beach community to its Olympic Center. The most commonly touted legacy benefit is that hosting an Olympics is a great way to kickstart your city's growth.
What historically came out of the public relations with regard to the Olympics was that this was the
And
most
yes,
wonderful
Genesis,
thing that could
states
ever
have
happen
that.
to a city. It puts your city on the world map, so it will increase tourism, it will increase commerce, it will increase foreign investment. And that story turns out not to be true.
Let's start with tourism. A 2004 study found that after experiencing a bump in tourism leading up to their respective games, Atlanta, Sydney, and Seoul all saw it fall afterwards. In his book,
Perfect.
Andrew cites a 1996 study on 3 Olympic Winter Games.
Yeah, the supposed bump that any of these cities are going to get for tourism because they hold the Olympics is very short term. This thought process of, oh, your city will have a legacy by holding the Olympics, it is very short term thinking with no long term benefit. None whatsoever. Yeah, and it is menial at best. The short term benefit is not going to be anything special either. Short term benefits probably going to suck in all reality. So it's a lot. It's basically a lot.
That found that the long-term impact on tourism was between non-existent and very modest, and a 2010 study that found little evidence of any benefit to tourism of hosting an Olympic Games, and considerable evidence of damage. In other words, being on TV can backfire.
If the weather is particularly too warm, or if it's too cold, if there are security incidents, if there are bad stories about the traffic, some cities are able to maybe help their image, but other cities are hurting their image.
Many legacy infrastructure investments haven't paid off either. Russia's rail project is now considered an epic failure. And Andrew argues that while Rio's subway line benefits some residents, what the city really needed was a line serving the lower income neighborhoods inland. But that's not where the Olympics were.
The typical case was that the IOC comes along and they say, we need these 30 venues. We want you to put them in a way so that transportation is facilitated and other conveniences are allowed. And so what the city would have to do is contort itself in order to accommodate the IOC.
Empty stadiums are a particularly visible sign of this mismatch. That Beijing Stadium had about 80,000 more seats than what the local soccer team could fill, so it backed out. Now the stadium sits mostly empty, costing the city some $10 million a year to maintain. This is what's called a white elephant.
And this is what we were talking about the other day. 6 games across the sport: archery, baseball. Okay. Yeah, Olympic esports games. Yeah, which is sort of their own thing. Hi, Heckle. It's okay to relate.
And there are now dozens of them across Olympic host cities. These are venues left over from the Athens 2004 Games. And ESPN found that 12 out of 27 venues in Rio de Janeiro had not held an event a year after it hosted the Olympics. For many residents, white elephants are evidence that hosting the Games is a waste of money.
The idea that had been out there forever and ever, this is wonderful news for the city, they get to do this. No, more often than not, it's going to be the opposite.
By 2015, city residents were ready to do something about it. The IOC had 6 cities bidding for the 2024 Games until protests forced Boston and Hamburg to drop out. A new mayor in Rome fulfilled a promise to shut down its bid. Then more than 260,000 people signed a petition that led Budapest to drop out as well. It left the IOC with just 2 bidders, and once again, little leverage. The IOC has since passed reforms that it says reduce the cost of hosting, largely by requiring hosts to use existing and temporary venues.
Yeah, that ain't gonna do anything. Because what's gonna happen is, like, especially in Los Angeles, they're gonna say, well, our existing venues aren't good enough. We need to build new ones. Or they're going to have to put billions of dollars into refurbishing any existing structures. So the cost is, this only works if you have good, well-maintained existing structures that you can host these games in already. If you don't have the structures, or if the structures in question are in dogshit condition, you're still spending that same money, and that little gimme by the IOC makes no difference whatsoever. The cost is still going to be there. It's still going to be there. They want to make the venue no parking? Oh my fucking god. Really? I mean, and think about it. California is, one of those states where they're going apeshit over emissions. Imagine what's going to happen when you get people coming in, because there will be people coming in from all over the world, not including all the athletes. How the hell are they going to get around? Like, California's already going schizo about emissions as is. What's going to happen when they're hosting the Olympics? It's going to be like, holy crap. The traffic jams are going to be ungodly over there. Even with public transport, the traffic jams are going to be insane. And public transport's not going to be able to handle it. Their public transport will not be able to handle it at all. Bobcat, that's an excellent question. I don't know if LA has signed any contract yet that would prevent them from backing out. I don't know. I don't know if it would be possible. It might be. It may be possible that they could back out, because it is, 4 years away. So it is possible they could back out, but I don't know, honestly. Like, if there was a huge amount of public upheaval where people say, you're not bringing the games here, we want it the fuck out, then maybe LA could back out. It's possible, but I don't know. Okay, so they did sign the contracts. I figured there was some contracts involved, Kaibo, and after they made the announcements, I figured there probably were contracts that got signed as soon as it happened. So I'm guessing there would be significant repercussions if LA broke the contracts.
Like LA did back in 1984, and allowing them to partner with other cities. As of now, Paris doesn't look like it will blow its budget, and LA's organizing committee is saying that the city can again pull off an on-budget Olympics. But the question is, if they do, could it spark another bidding war?
I don't know if we'll go into a big cycle like we did after the '84 games. I do think it's possible that there'll be a small turn. It'll appear less undesirable than it has.
Okay,
the IOC
Falcon,
has also
have a
stopped
good
taking
night.
bids and instead negotiates with cities privately. It picked Milan and Cortina,
Good
Italy,
night,
over
Potato.
Stockholm for the 2026 Winter Games, and it gave Brisbane, Australia, the 2032 Summer Games. But some are arguing for a more permanent solution.
I think it's perfectly plausible to think
And we
about
talked about this.
building the Olympic Shangri-La with its 35 or 40 venues for the Summer Games, smaller number for the Winter Games, in one place.
Some believe Greece, the historical home of the Olympics, would make a good permanent host. Others have mentioned LA since it has so many venues and has done so well in the past. A permanent spot would eliminate white elephant projects, save cities from going into debt, and reduce the game's environmental footprint. But it could also reduce much of the excitement around each new Olympics.
It's not going to be easy to go to a model.
Okay, that last point, I don't think is a concern. Like, reducing excitement for the Olympics, it's already probably at its lowest. Excitement for the Olympics is at its lowest right now. And yes, returning to Greece could be fine. Here is my question, though. Here's my question about returning to Greece. And this is a genuine question because I do not know. Does Greece have the geography, the available real estate to have permanent Olympic structures like this? Because remember, there's a lot of structures that need to be put into place for the Olympics. Does Greece have the available real estate to accomplish this? And diabetes, that was point number 2. I'm pretty sure they're still bankrupt. One big ass stadium does not make for an Olympics. You need to have, I think they said, 35 structures for the Winter Games, and I forget what it was for the Summer Games. Yeah, I mean, the only way you could build this in Greece is if they had a massive level of financial support. And even then it wouldn't work, because then how the hell is Greece going to maintain the structures if they're in financial crisis? The Olympic Games is not going to pull them out of financial crisis. So it's a very pretty thought to have Greece have one of these venues, because it is the progenitor of the Olympics. But fiscally speaking, it's simply not possible. Kaibo, maintaining the facilities is far less prohibitive for a once every 4-year event versus one and done and they're never coming back. Because for most of these venues, it's one and done and they never come back. And so all of these places fall into disrepair. Oh, you mean for Greece? Well, again, Eki brings up a very strong argument. Have the IOC do it. How much fucking money is in the IOC's coffers? The IOC must have some huge fucking coffers. Make the IOC put some fucking money into it. They want to host the Olympics. Make them put some money down. As, for the longest time, it's been the individual cities that have had to pay. Force the IOC to start pay. If no city wants to host the Olympics, it's like, you want to host the Olympics, you put some skin in the game. So annually they make 4.9 million. Yeah, have them start putting some money. Have them start putting some skin in the game. Have them covering some of the building costs. Have them covering some of the maintenance costs. Have them do that. And Raga, yeah, it's true, and I do not give a fuck. It is true. Oh, 4.9 per day. Oh, fuck yeah. Make the IOC pay. Yep. Get them in there. Make them start paying. 100%. That's the way to do it. Is if, for permanent structures, okay, if you want to have the host country pay to build the structures, if it's needed, fuck. I don't like it, but fine. And then the IOC is responsible for the maintenance. IOC is responsible for the maintenance for the permanent structures. Simple. Yeah, exactly, Cryptic. Allegedly. I mean, the Olympics as it stands is not financially viable for any country anymore. It's not. They said Paris was on budget. Okay, that's great, but how much fucking money did they spend that they took out of the pockets of their own citizens? Just because Paris said they were on budget does not mean the price was grotesquely overblown. And all of those buildings that hosted the games will now go into disrepair while they continue to pay millions for bullshit maintenance that doesn't actually work. So the statement of, yeah, we're on budget means nothing. It means absolutely nothing because it's still billions of dollars that are coming out of the pockets of the citizens. The citizens are going to get taxed to shit to pay for the Olympics, and they will see zero benefit. They will see less than zero benefit. They will see a net loss benefit. Point blank, it's not worth it anymore. Permanent structures is the only way. Permanent structures is the only way to go that makes any sense anymore. Doing up permanent structures with wiggle room to add or subtract as needed based on games is the only viable solution now. And yeah, will the IOC consider it? No, probably not, because they're making bank by having cities bid war against one another. I mean, it's a shit show. It's why nobody cares about the Olympics. Because the Olympics has become an absolute shit show. And the only thing people care about it are the controversies and the scandals. That's all anybody cares about it.
That makes environmental sense and economic sense. But I do think it makes sense to talk about it and put it out there as someplace that we should be heading.
Depending on how the next few Olympics go, it might be the only direction left.
All right, thanks everyone so much for watching episode 15. That's also our 1-year anniversary of Search Party. We have over 380,000 subscribers. We published 15 videos, a ton of shorts. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I want to thank my whole team for their really hard work they've done over the last year. It's been a lot of fun.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Keep an eye out for our next few stories. We've got a really good pipeline coming. We've got one more Olympic story, and then we're back to geopolitics on a really exciting story that's got a really cool visual hook that I think you guys will like. And then we're doing a story on MMA and then sports betting. So keep an eye out for those. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Search Party, please do. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. All right, see ya.
Yeah, right. So a lot of stuff we already did now, but still very interesting. And brings up a lot of issues. It does. I mean, the fact is, you know, Olympic permanence is probably going to be a necessity. And if the citizens are smart, if their country/city puts in a bid for the Olympics, they should protest and say, no, you're not bringing it here. We can't afford it. Sorry, Olympics, we can't afford it.